The settings that I'm gonna share with you on this video are probably the best looking settings that I can recommend to use black frame insertion on these LG OLEDs because they are safe. There's no service menu tweakings, and this is going to work for the PS5, Xbox, Nintendo Switch, the PC, and for every single game because these are SDR settings. So now we are going to calibrate the TV, and I am not a professional TV calibrator. I do not have a colorimeter. So if you know better, I am all ears. And I am also going to explain you my criteria and how I figured out these numbers so you can check this out for yourself on your own TV because the values might be slightly different even if you have the exact same LG C1 48 inches that I have. Okay, so I'm gonna share the settings and then we're going to go and explain you why. Okay, why are you doing all of that? Why so much effort? Because I want people to get a good picture quality when using black frame insertion. Because what happens is that people turn on the feature and oh, it's too dark, bro, I don't like it. And not enough people understand motion clarity well enough to care. Okay? And if you've been following the channel, that's not you. But the reason why LG is downgrading OLED Motion Pro black frame insertion, it keeps downgrading the feature and just eliminating it altogether with this new 240 hertz OLED monitors, and they would be a fantastic candidate for black frame insertion. The reason why LG keeps downgrading it because not enough people know to care, and the reason why they don't give this setting a chance is because it doesn't look good. You lose brightness. Near black is too dark, bro. I don't like it. So that's what I want to fix. We need picture quality with black frame insertion so people can at least give it a try, and then they will realize, okay, this looks good, and actually they will notice how good is the motion clarity. So they will demand this feature to be improved and not removed. Okay? So let me share with you the settings, and you can just copy the settings and most likely it's going to look fantastic. I worked very hard on this one, but double check the values and I'm going to explain you how to do that. So you see here SDR, I am maxing out the OLED light and the contrast. You might think, man, you said these settings were safe to use. That's dangerous, you're gonna get burning. First of all, use your TV. This is the brightness that it is available to you. The TV is already being power restricted, okay? You pay for it, use it. But second, when you use black frame insertion, the risk of burning and image retention goes down significantly because the pixels are turning on and off, okay? For a longer period of time. It's blinking, the screen is blinking, okay? So if you don't use black frame insertion and you max out the brightness, you have a higher risk of burning. And I will still do it, I don't care. But that's just to get that out of the way. So now we are increasing this screen brightness, which is called black level on the LG C2, C3, and that's correct. This is the black level, so we're increasing that visibility near black, but we still have perfect blacks, even with 51. If I increase it to 52, boom, I no longer have perfect blacks, but maybe on your TV, you still have perfect blacks, okay? Now I'm gonna change the gamma to 2.2, and now I am unlocking this peak brightness high on game optimizer mode. So how can you do that? Use the color control app. I'm not going to show you how to do that on this video because I covered that extensively in this channel, but I know that there are a lot of people and even big channels that don't know that this exists. And I'm trying to scream to everybody, hey, don't be unhappy with your LG OLED on SDR because this setting is locked. LG, for some reason that I cannot understand, doesn't let you use that peak brightness, but you can use the color control app on the C3, G3, C2, G2, every single OLED, and just get it high. So that's it. Just get the color control app and unleash that peak brightness to high. So the other thing that I am doing with the color control app is I am changing this color gamut to native. Okay, native color gamut. And the reason is I want the colors to pop. I want people to like these settings. So they use the feature, so they demand the feature for the upcoming TVs. And it looks fantastic. I actually match the colors with my plasma TV, which is the picture that I love. So this looks very, very, very close, almost the same as the plasma TV. So color gamut native, you can change that setting with the color control app. Now the saturation in 50, I'm going to explain you why everything. The white balance, warm 50. So now this is where these settings get advanced and complicated, but you can just copy these settings or you can double check these settings on your own TV. So what I'm doing here is I'm changing this calibration from 2 points to 22 points. So basically we have, how can I say this? Because I am not an expert. I do not understand fully what this is, but I have a good idea. Basically by changing this to 22-point calibration on SDR, what that means is that you can tweak the grayscale with more fine tuning. Okay, you can fine tune the calibration of the entire grayscale. So these 2 points would be more like a general calibration. 10 points you have more fine tuning, and 22 points you have even more fine tuning. So select this 22-point calibration, and we're going to start with this signal level at 2.5%. So what does that mean? That means that we are tweaking the lower end of the grayscale, okay? And I'm gonna share with you how I did that. So we're gonna start with this signal level at 2.5. And what I did is I increased this brightness level to 10. And I also increased red, green, and blue to 5. So now, I do not know if there is a difference between increasing red, green, and blue to a value and increasing this 10. I guess that when you increase this brightness level, you are actually increasing red, green, and blue evenly. Okay, so this might be the same thing as 15, for example, but I'm not sure. And I got this information from Classy Tech Calibrations. I shared a lot this near black test pattern that I got from a video that Classy Tech Calibrations did. The video, I'm gonna share again that video. I shared that video many times, and on that video, Classy Tech Calibration, he shared the link to download a near black test pattern that I like a lot and that I use all the time. And on that video, he explained how to fix that near black crush on your LG OLED using this 22-point calibration. But in that video, he only changes the values red, green, and blue, and he doesn't change this brightness level. And then on the latest video he did about the G3 and C3, the best settings, he actually used this signal level to increase that visibility near black. So using that idea, I start tweaking the settings, these settings, with that near black test pattern, and these are the values that I think are the best. I basically try to make that near black test pattern look beautiful with black from insertion. So let me share the settings. So we have signal level 2.5, brightness in 10, red, green, and blue on 5. Now we're going to change from 2.5 to 5. So we are basically increasing the visibility, fine-tuning the visibility of the grayscale. So we start at 2.5, now 5, now we're gonna keep increasing it until this point. I will show you. So we select 5, signal level, and now I am increasing that brightness to 15, okay? 15, and red, green, and blue to 5. So I'm increasing red, green, and blue to 5 for every single of these steps. Now we change to the signal level 7.5, and now here I am not increasing the brightness because this is not that near black anymore. It is close to black, but it's not that close. So I don't want to wash out the picture and increase the brightness there. So then I'm just increasing red, green, and blue at 7.5%. We go to 10, and again the same, red, green, and blue to 5. Then we go to 15%, again red, green, and blue to 5. And then we go to 20%, red, green, and blue on 5. 25, red, green, and blue on 5. And 30, that's the last one, red, green, and blue to 5. So now Classy, he said 30. That's, yeah, beyond that, that's not that much near black anymore. And he didn't recommend this value, 5. He started with 4. He said just play around with it, try to do the best you can, use real content, use the near black test pattern, and you have to test it on your own TV. Okay, so ideally you want to test these values, and I'm gonna share with you the Classy video with the link to download the near black test pattern so you can try it yourself. Okay, check it out yourself. But these are the settings, and the near black test pattern looks like this. Let me show you. I have it here in game. Let me turn off the lights. So this is the near black test pattern that I'm talking about, this one. And I have this near black test pattern in game using reshade. Okay, so that's what I use. That's how I increase the visibility near black, so I can basically see the entire near black test pattern, and the visibility is very, 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 very good. And with these settings that I use, basically I focused on making this near black test pattern look beautiful. Okay, so this looks a little bit brighter than this, then it goes less brightness, less brightness, less brightness, less brightness, less brightness, and it goes down on a smooth way. Okay, so it doesn't look flat. This has some depth. So basically with these settings I make this near black test pattern look beautiful to me. Okay, I focus on that. I'm gonna make that near black test pattern look amazing. So this is why I choose those settings. So now, why the colors? Why this contrast in 100? Why this color gamut native 50? Why not 55 or 60 if you want even more colorful picture? So this is how you can check the colors basically. I'm gonna share with you this video, which I shared before, and I increase the contrast. So when you increase the contrast, you are clipping the colors too. So you're clipping the whites and you're also clipping the colors. So you check with a white test pattern. Let me show you. So with this test pattern, let me turn off the lights here so the camera adjusts the exposure. So with this test pattern, I have the near black, which is beautifully and perfectly visible, and I have the whites here, and they are also perfectly visible. So you have to make sure that when you increase the contrast, you are not clipping the whites. You want to be able to see all the bars, and you can use any white clipping pattern on YouTube. So now you use that white clipping pattern to set the contrast, to make sure that increasing the contrast to 100% is good. And you want to use this or any other color clipping pattern on SDR to make sure that the color saturation that you are increasing, it is not clipping the colors. So if I start increasing this color saturation, I'm gonna start clipping the colors, especially the red in these WRGB OLEDs, okay? So that's why I am using those settings. So now, if you want a more colorful picture, you can reduce the contrast and increase the color depth. So when you reduce the contrast, you're gonna be able to increase this color depth even more. But the reason why I am not doing that is because forcing this color gamut to native is going to give you a very, very colorful picture, very saturated. And what I did was to match the color saturation with my plasma TV. So I opened a lot of games that I know how they're supposed to look because I played them a lot. And then I compare the colors of my plasma TV with the LG C1, and this looks almost exactly the same as my plasma TV. It looks absolutely amazing. And yeah, some people might ask me why you use the same game again and again for these videos. The reason is this game doesn't have a dynamic time of the day, so it is very consistent. The brightness of the game doesn't change. I am very familiar with the colors. I know how I want these colors to look like, and I have close to dark areas, and I have that shadow detail, so I can check for the shadow detail. And when you do this calibration stuff, you want to make sure that you have consistency and that you can evaluate a content that you know how that content is supposed to look like. Okay, that's why you see HDTV Test using the same footage to compare the reviews again and again. He uses the same footage. What I wanted to do is to load a part of the game that has near black. Let me see if it is this one. No. So I can show you the darkness, how it looks on the darkness. Okay, let me turn off the lights here so the camera adjusts the exposure. So you see, I can see all the detail, all the near black detail. I can see everything. The visibility is perfect with OLED Motion Pro high at 120 FPS, 120 Hertz on this LG C1. It just looks perfect. I can see everything. I can see everything. All the shadow detail is perfectly visible. More visible than on my plasma TV. A lot more visible actually than on my plasma TV. It just looks wonderful. Even on a bright room, you can see the shadow detail. But of course, you want to play on a dark room to get the best picture quality. But I can see everything. All the shadow detail here, I can see it. It is absolutely perfect. And if I go to the game gamma, let me go to the game gamma settings. I'm using an app for the controller that conflicts with the game. Okay, so you see here this near black pattern on the game is perfectly visible, absolutely perfectly visible. So yeah, give these settings a try. Double check the settings using the near black test pattern that I'm gonna share with you. Check out the Classy Tech Calibration video. This is where I got this idea from. Check the color saturation with the YouTube video that I'm gonna share with you. I'm also going to share some white clipping patterns on YouTube. Okay. So now on this LG C1, you can get an even brighter picture at 100 FPS, 100 Hertz, or 120 FPS, 120 Hertz if you use OLED Motion Pro Medium. Okay, and actually this is the same brightness reduction that you would get on an LG C2, which is less brightness reduction. The LG C2 looks brighter using OLED Motion Pro because it is improving the motion clarity in 2x, so the brightness is cut in half. On this LG C1, if you use OLED Motion Pro High, you are reducing the brightness in 62%, okay, because the persistence is being reduced to 38%. So you lose the rest on the brightness because the rest of the picture is black. So you have 38% pixel visibility time, the rest is black. So you are losing 62% brightness with high, 50% brightness with high, and you're losing 25% brightness with low. And low, medium, and high, they work at 100 and 120 FPS and hertz. You have to match the FPS with the hertz. So if you want it even brighter, you can use medium at 100. It works very good. It looks fantastic. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions. And let me just make sure that I show you all the settings. I show you the brightness again, gamma 2.2. I show you the colors. Just use the color control app, and I show you all the settings here for this 22-point calibration. I show you everything. So yeah, let me know your thoughts and opinions, and if you have any questions.